Let me start with a question. Have you ever watched one of my videos and thought, this sounds like me, but I'm not sure if this work is actually for someone like me? Maybe you are successful, maybe you are still building, maybe you are leading a team, maybe you are raising a family, maybe you are running a business, or maybe you are simply trying to hold everything together without falling apart. If that is you, today's video is important because I want to ask one question I get asked more than almost any other. Who is this work actually for? Who benefits from the internal coherence recalibration? Who doesn't? And why do some people experience profound transformation while others aren't ready for it? Here is a surprising answer. This work isn't for everyone. Not because everyone doesn't need it, but because not everyone is trying to solve the same problem. Today, I'll explain exactly who this work is designed for, why traditional personal development often leaves these people frustrated, and how to know whether you are the kind of person who will benefit most from this approach. And somewhere in this conversation, you may discover that the struggle you have been carrying for years finally has a name. So let us begin. One of the greatest misconceptions about my work is that it is designed for people who are failing. That's the misconception. But it isn't. In fact, most of the people I work with are already achieving results. They are respected, they are dependable, they are capable. They are the people everyone else goes to when something important needs to get done. But behind closed doors, they are exhausted. They have become experts at carrying pressure, experts at solving other people's problems, experts at performing and functioning quietly while feeling disconnected from themselves. Think about Bruce Wayne. From the outside, he looked powerful, successful, respected, yet internally, he carried unresolved conflict that shaped almost every decision he made. That is how many high-capacity individuals live. Their challenge isn't capability. It is carrying success without losing themselves. If you are looking for motivation to finally get started, this may not be the work you need right now. But if you are already moving and wondering why the journey feels so heavy, keep watching. Keep watching this video. One sentence comes up repeatedly in conversations with my clients. Nothing is obviously wrong, but something doesn't feel right. Have you ever said that yourself? Your career may be progressing. Your family may be doing well. In fact, your finances may be improving. You might even be accomplishing goals you once dreamt about. Yet, you feel mentally crowded, emotionally tired, and constantly overthinking. You struggle to make decisions that used to feel simple. You keep asking yourself, Why am I feeling this when life is technically going well? Most people dismiss that feeling. I don't, because I've learned that it's often the earliest signal that your internal system is drifting out of alignment. Just like a car doesn't suddenly stop working without warning you. Your inner world usually sends subtle signals long before burnout arrives. This work is for people who are willing to pay attention to those signals. Many people spend years treating symptoms, many years treating symptoms. They buy another planner, they read another book, watch another motivational video, download another productivity app, and every solution helps for a little while. Then the same patterns return. Why? Because they are treating behaviors instead of systems. Imagine visiting a doctor because you are constantly exhausted. If the doctor only recommends stronger coffee, would you call that treatment? Of course not. You'd want someone to investigate why you are exhausted in the first place. That is exactly how I approach personal transformation. I don't begin with habits. I begin with diagnosis. Because overwhelm, decision fatigue, emotional instability, and inconsistency, these are often symptoms of internal incoherence. This work is for people who are ready to stop asking, how do I manage this better? And start asking, why is this happening at all? Here is something I deeply believe. Success without internal stability is expensive. Very expensive indeed. I have met people who achieved incredible things while quietly losing their peace. They built their businesses, led organizations, reached financial goals and admiration, yet privately they felt fragmented. Why? Because achievement and alignment are not the same thing. Think about Tony Stark. He constantly built bigger suits, more powerful technology, greater external capability. Yet, many of his greatest battles were not external. They were internal. Eventually, he realized that becoming stronger externally wasn't enough. He also had to become steadier internally. That is what this work is about. Not simply helping you to achieve more. No. It is helping you achieve without losing yourself. If your definition of success includes emotional stability, clear decision making, healthy relationships, and sustainable performance, then this work was designed with you in mind. Yes, this work was designed with you in mind. Now, let me be equally clear. This work is not for everyone. This work is not for everyone. It is not for people looking for quick fixes. It is not for people who simply want another motivational boost. It is not for people who believe every problem can be solved with more hustle. And it isn't for people unwilling to examine themselves honestly. Internal coherence recalibration requires courage, because eventually you'll have to ask difficult questions. Where am I living against my values? What am I avoiding? What internal conflict keeps repeating itself? What story have I believed about myself that no longer serves me? Those questions aren't always comfortable, but they create transformation. This work isn't about becoming someone else. It's about removing everything that is preventing you from becoming your most integrated self. Let me leave you with this. If you have watched this far, there's a good chance that this message wasn't random. Maybe you have spent years believing your struggle was a discipline problem or a motivation problem or a productivity problem. Maybe you have blamed yourself for feeling overwhelmed despite being capable. Maybe you have wondered why success has become heavier instead of lighter. What if none of those things are your real problem? What if your internal system has simply been asking for recalibration? Because that is who this work is actually for. It's for leaders who quietly carry more than people realize. It's for founders who are successful but internally exhausted. It's for professionals who make difficult decisions every day but struggle to find peace. It's for caregivers who constantly support others while neglecting themselves. It is for high-capacity individuals who are tired of surviving and are ready to become internally coherent. My mission isn't simply to help people perform better. No, it is to help them become whole. Because when your values, your identity, your emotions, your priorities, and your actions begin working together, you stop living divided. You stop carrying unnecessary internal conflict. You stop confusing achievement with fulfillment. And finally, you discover something many successful people spend years searching for: the ability to experience success without sacrificing your peace. That is what internal coherence recalibration is really about. That is what it's about. It's not about becoming more impressive, but becoming more integrated. And I believe that that's one of the greatest transformations a high-capacity person can experience. If this video described where you are right now, comment here below with the word whole. I would also love to know which part of today's message felt like it was describing your own experience. And if you are ready to stop treating symptoms and start transforming the internal system that is driving your life, subscribe to the channel. Because the people who need this work most aren't usually the ones who are falling behind. No, they are the ones who look like they are holding everything together while quietly carrying more than anyone else can see.